and welcome to the Raw Review. We are the Dadley Boyz on What Culture. I'm Adam Wilbourn, joined by Michael Hamflett and Michael Sidgwick, here to review everything that happened on last night's episode of Now. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to What Culture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube. We do daily wrestling podcasts where we not only review Raw, but also Smackdown, the show formerly known as NXT 2.0. We done about AW Collision, pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a round of the week complete with a bloody good quiz, of course, on Wrestle Culture. As I said, though, joined by Michael Hamflett and Michael Sidgwick and Adam Nicholas. Hey! Everything that happened on last night's Raw. It's good to have the gang back together.
It is, and just in time, because based on last night's episode, all I know is that between last night and WrestleMania, Fed's been cooking.
Yep.
No complaints, right? I'll tell the truth. I had to speed run a lot of Fed. I watched a row in a bar, but I had half an eye on the game. And it was
the
big game.
The hoops.
The playoffs. I'm a hooper. But SmackDown, I speed ran a couple of them.
Poor.
Dre around Melo's neck is on Triple H's Creative Peaks. Otherwise, it's mostly terrible. Mostly terrible stuff.
Hey, he's working late into the night on these shows. You show him some respect. What was it you said on Twitter?
I said that, like, man does job. If it's Alistair Black, then we're talking news. He loves it. He loves it. I also said, it seems like a leak, sort of, the motive behind which was to go, not like that bloody Dwayne, who won't even come to WrestleMania. I'm Triple H. I'm in that office 7 days a week, 8 hours a day. And I feel like if you do the math calc and Trigg, he's like 2.5 hours. DQ finish. Another 2.5 hours. Yeah, DQ finish it is.
I've never believed truly that Road Dogg was like this creative czar of SmackDown. It was obviously 3 hour stinks and Triple H wants an excuse and he's like, Road Dogg's doing it. But Triple H in charge of both shows, but creative energies appear very different, shall we say, in this 3 hour era. And I thought this before WrestleMania, but we were pretty critical of like lots of the build up to WrestleMania. The gap might be getting wider in the aftermath now that like WrestleMania is out the way and the stuff that Triple H evidently did not like about what he was forced to do by his boss, the final boss, the boss. To bring it back to this Raw, like night and day from the SmackDowns I watched, and I loved the post-WrestleMania Raw. Like, not just in the sort of aftermath.
Best ever for you, Wilbourn?
Probably right up there for me, yeah.
Really great. Last week's Not So Good Al. Not So Good Al.
Oh, I like last week.
I didn't love it. I didn't mind it. I just didn't love it as a follow-up this week. I thought it was pretty strong. SmackDown is what? Like, soon we're back to 2 hours. We can just start again.
June 6th, apparently.
I can't. Not a moment to see. I loved the TLC. How could you not? TLC match.
Even I like that.
It was magic.
5 stars, isn't it?
You go 5 in it?
He went a 5.
Yes.
It's not as bloody good as TLC 2.
No.
But as someone pointed out on Twitter, he's overcorrecting. He's like, you're not going to be able to convince people after all this time that you're not biased against WWE, even though I don't think he is. He overrates it for me, if anything, but I feel like there's an element
Likes
of
his
that.
ladders as well, doesn't he?
Does like his ladders. He said, don't like it, 5 stars. That's one of the ladder matches, one of his for that.
It was excellent.
I doctored a half a star from my personal rating because after they did the Edge Jeff Hardy bump, when they did the camera to each person, oh my God. Like those reactions really pissed me off.
It's funny you say that. Like,
oh my God.
Oh my God. I thought I had a really good night? Johnny Gargano. Like,
He's good at a heel role.
Yeah.
Did this great bit on the SmackDown review where I was saying, you ever been around dogs, Wilbourn? And then he went through his like 3-minute story about how he's the dog sit and all the rest. So I was like, yeah, this is good. Keep it going. When did you walk this dog, during the summer months? He's like, yeah, actually, as it happens. I was like, yeah. Hot dogs, they get hot, don't they? He's like, yeah. And I was like, thirsty. Dog was thirsty. He's like, oh, you're thirsty? Yeah. I was like, did he walk the dog or did he have dog sit the dog? So you saw him licking out of the bowl. That's Johnny Gargano licking the boot. Jesus Christ. Did you see what he's wearing at the Hall of Fame?
Nah.
Oh, yeah, I saw your tweet about it.
The little pocket.
Oh, yeah, Triple H, like, yeah.
Have some dignity. Have some goddamn self-respect. respect, you loser.
Have better heroes. Have the Hitman Bret Hart.
Ergo, the fact that Johnny Gargano really impressed me. He must have, because I was in a bad mood with Johnny.
Yeah, that was really strong. Yeah, Raw's in decent nick, genuinely.
Yeah.
That was a good episode. And that, like, this is the
Hot program. Seth Rollins versus CM Punk.
Yeah, man,
Really hot, new, fresh, interesting.
feels fresh all over again. Bit of a dynamic switcheroo-ski of late. Like, well, actually, no, there's actually a heel in this. It's better, if anything. Didn't think they could improve post production, but no. But
I find it funny how
6 minutes back in
December. I remember we broke up for WhatCulture Wrestling for the holiday season. I remember that day we were in the Central pub having a couple of like nice boys.
Oh yeah.
Here's the next one. And we had a few beers, and I had a lovely what do you call it, man? Mulled cider. Like nice little brief time. And I remember distinctly because one of the topics of the conversation was, oh God, it's been leaked by Punk probably, someone in the Punk camp that he's shot at Seth Rollins, getting it over with on January 6th, Netflix, and then on to bigger and better things. It is May.
they're gonna get a month 6 for this one, baby.
May, and they're still at it. Funny, if anything.
I got thoughts. I thought it was pretty good. Like,
I'll never get it, man.
I don't mind this. I
will
retooling of it, but
bit of retention. They might have got me at a certain point. The Fed.
Another bit of retention. Another another bodily reaction to this show that I'll update you on.
He's talking about his bodily reactions now. Should probably keep you up to speed.
Yeah, sorry, this is a new thing. Also, by the way, if you want to discuss anything football related, which I sense we will at some point, let me know, because we've worked out a nice segue, isn't it? A nice way, because it feels a bit jarring otherwise, but now we've got it all smoothed out.
Indeed.
We'll get to it.
all right.
Let's start this show, though.
He feels left out. Well, don't worry about it.
It's okay. I want to, I suppose I'm going to have to try and read when it's coming. When you mentioned football there, I was just like, I could not have switched off more, and apparently nor could my team, because fourth at the start of their...
Hang on, we did the football tangent. 1 second. Sage, I think we're doing a little football tangent.
Okay, well, bring it on.
It's time for today's football tangent.
That's it.
You can call me Al and Shearer.
Okay, right,
or Sund Al and...
Okay.
Or Steed Al Brank.
That's great.
It's all good stuff.
There was a Marlboro t-shirt that you could get that was in the same font as the Marlboro Lights, because he was known for smoking 20 a day.
Oh, right.
Brilliant.
Marlboro.
5 losses on the bounce?
Yeah, we're at the bottom of the form table going into the playoffs, which is what you want, isn't it? He picked a reserve team to rest all the first team. You're supposed to allow that sort of crap. But I've lost interest in the football playoffs in exchange for the basketball ones. And now on Friday, I got myself read back up again. 2 lose to Coventry.
Oh, yeah, is that who you got? Frank
Yeah,
Lampard's
of course we
Coventry?
did. Yeah, bogey team the last 20 odd years. Can't wait.
Putting some money on Sunderland, don't worry.
Yeah, always
Season's over, baby. I was buoyed by your beloved Chesterfield making it on the last day. That was
Text
nice.
me.
I texted him
That was
straight away.
nice. I like that.
Always look out for Chesterfield's results now.
That's it. You got to keep an eye on it.
Immediately sent him a picture of Eric in his Chesterfield kit. I was
cool.
on edge. I went into Matt Rains, shout out to Matt Rains, who was messaging me about it. He was watching it on his, multi-game thing.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm too anxious. I've gone out into the garden because I can't watch this because it's too nerve-wracking because my team... I think everyone has this about their team unless you support, consistent winners where you just always expect the worst. And I was like, I can see what's going to happen here because we talked about it with Sidge last week. I was like, Salford are gonna drop points against Carlisle. Shout out to Carlisle United, legendary performance in that game. They went 2-0 up Carlisle. Salford bring it back to 2-2, but can't get any more than that. They draw. The door's wide open. I was like, this is where we concede in the last minute. And as it happened, Accrington Stanley hit the bar twice in the 96th minute. I dropped my arse a little bit during that. But, I forgot we had a game. Quick one. When were Chesterfield last in the playoffs?
2000
This season, I mean.
Places?
Yeah.
February.
February?
I was going to say October.
You split the difference. It was 2024 December last time we were in the playoffs, and we
just snuck in.
Just snuck in, and now we'll play Sad Walsall. Oh, we were a minute away from getting promoted. Psych, here comes Bradford, and now they're on a bit of a dodgy run of form. They're going to batter us probably, but we can enjoy it while it lasts.
We've been in the playoffs 5 of the last 7 seasons. That's too much playoffs, isn't it? That is too much. I'm not
too
going.
Many?
Yeah, I'm not going. No Wembo for me this year, and potentially no Wembo for Sunderland.
You shouldn't have anything this year. You shouldn't have anything else.
Yeah, you think you've had enough?
I think you've had enough, pal.
Busy, can't make it. So
what are you doing instead?
you're gonna use like a bit, aren't you? Hamflett's class life. Yeah, I'm going to a gig in Leeds. So just how it's fallen on the day.
Explode.
The Cribs.
Correct, but it's a pretty good one. I think you'd even appreciate a bit of this.
Are they playing an entire album in order?
Yeah. But I've seen that album played in order 4 times, but that's not the point.
Just listen to the album.
It's not actually why.
Yeah, remember.
It's not actually even why I'm going. Basically, a mate of mine's a big We Are Scientists fan, and they're playing their first album in full as part of a day of bands from that era playing their albums in full.
Does sound awesome.
I couldn't
pretty good.
Couldn't have booked it better. And the Kaiser Chiefs are the headline act, and I don't like them, so we can leave early and get back into Leeds and go to the Key Club.
That's a good idea.
It's at Bramham
Hang
Park.
on. What's the train times from Newcastle? Because if you're finishing at 5 o'clock on Friday and heading down there, it's going to be pretty tight.
Now, obviously, he's had
gigs on
this.
Saturday. It's fine.
Okay, it's fine. Well, the good news is, Sidge, obviously, he's had a long period off. So a big milestone for him at the end of the
Saturday
day.
morning. And
Yeah, but a big milestone regardless. And I assume from now on, obviously, it's bank holiday, so it's only a 4-day week.
He's had his big American adventure.
Yeah, big real nose to the grindstone stuff now, right? Isn't it? We got boom, boom, boom for the rest of
Friday work, Saturday train. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
I'll pick my kids up Friday afternoon.
At 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock.
Pick them up from school. So do you know what time school finishes?
I know what time work finishes as well. I can't believe this. That's a preview SmackDown.
No. Well, we'll do that. We'll batch it.
I enjoy SmackDown now.
Yes.
Good. So you're going to join us every week?
No. I might come in for the Alistair Black burial segment.
Yeah, he spent 15 minutes on the preview going after him. It was class.
Basically. Going after him.
That's what I've been doing, man. Honestly, Mally Black, burial hour.
He's like, goodbye and farewell.
I rest now. So my favourite bit was like the first time he was rumoured to be right, he was off to the Fed. It was All Out 2022. Does the job alongside Brody King and Buddy Matthews to, I believe it was Sting, Darby and Miro.
Correct.
Funny old match, and then he retreats up the ramp.
Goodbye, everybody.
Good day. Good day. And it's you've got 3 years left on your deal, buddy. What are we doing here? And I think what we were doing here was, Father's boss now. And he's just Triple H.
Father H
is boss now. I leave. It's it doesn't really work like that. You want under contract. Well, I leave.
Wait, goodbye.
I declare leaving for Triple H. It's you can't just declare that you're leaving because Triple H is booking it. Is that what's happened here? Is that what happened?
What, that he's leaving?
No, that All Out 2022.
Oh, it's
farewell.
From then, he's been
farewell. You know what I mean? But it's just have you just thought, what are you doing here? What are you doing here, Ali? Ali, you've got 3 years left on your deal. Why are you saying goodbye? I was I leave now. Papa's home. I was I don't know if that's how it works. You can't just say you're declaring you're working for Triple H.
I think, when they all convince Cartman that he's dead and he's a ghost, so he's trying to leave the group forever and he just wants to get into heaven. Goodbye. He's walking backwards, but he's still there. Goodbye.
So that's what SmackDown is now. But you can do gladiators and everything.
No, I'd like that.
Gladiators and everything. Have you watched Gladiators?
I watched Final. Oh my God. I watched it last night.
Told you, it's a roller coaster.
That Andre the Giant necklace that Miz gifted Mello. Fantastic, by the way. Got a bigger pop than Aleister Black's entrance. Tell me when I'm telling lies. The reaction from the crowd to that. Got me this. Throwing Andre the Giant's face.
He loves it. Look,
I love it. Carmelo, here's his bang average. And they've actually come up with something fun for him to do. To actually make that whole deal worthwhile. It's great stuff, man.
It's all good stuff.
Prick Williams is going to rock up on the main roster. It's sort your out, Mello, and snap Dre off. It's chain's going to go everywhere. Throw the Andre the Giant head into the crowd.
Woo!
Anyway,
Give him Miz till the end of the season.
Yeah.
Get him back on a pallet lifter or something. Triple H is this anything? Right. Buyer's remorse from the game.
Hasn't bought him yet.
I'll put a deposit down after All Out 2022 and they won't give us a refund.
Right, let's talk about Raw. The world champ entered to kick it all off.
Oh, nice 10-minute fast forward this. Oh, he's doing it again. Yeah.
McAfee's on the table. Cole's telling him that's what got you in trouble with Gunther in the first place.
Thank you for linking it back. You're not meant to be in, whatever.
Jay does the whole, shall I do it again? And then he does it again. And then he says, main event Jey Uso is now in York City. And he calls out Logan Paul. But instead of that, Paul Heyman comes out. He's been on holiday or something. He's very tan. He didn't come here to disrespect the world champion, he says. He dragged himself here to Omaha because he wanted to say something to his face. And Jay says, you got a lot of walls. Said in front of this ring after what you did to the family. NXT preview coming later. Jay saw past him from day one. He warned Reigns and Punk about him. And Paul suggests that maybe Jay should have warned him about CM Punk because his supposed best friend put him in this position. And he gets interrupted at this point by fans chanting for CM Punk. And Paul yells at him, saying that they don't know about Punk's black heart. And he was forced into a position where he was going to betray Roman Reigns. Look, Paul talks about having this dream with CM Punk whilst Roman was still off playing football and didn't even want to be a wrestler. But despite that, after 5 years, did Roman actually think that Paul would sell his secrets? 5 years building up the bloodline. He talks about finding a stray big dog and turning it into the tribal chief. He says, we were undisputed champion for over 1,000 days. It wasn't me that blew it and lost to Cody after being distracted by Seth Rollins. Roman lost, and then he went home and left me in the hands of the new bloodline who put me through a table. And he didn't even come back to avenge me. He came back to save his Ula fella. He's getting really worked up at this moment.
Waked up.
Getting waked up. He says, but it's always me at fault. I'm the double crosser. I'm the scumbag. But not this time. I'm right. I'm in the right. And you blame me. Screw you. Loads of heat for all this. And Jay just lets it settle a little minute. He's like, you all right, mate? What does any of this have to do with me? And Paul says, sorry, got a little bit wound up there.
I'm a little bit wicked up.
It's nothing to do with you. I didn't come out here to talk about Roman or Punk. I came to talk to you about you. You wanted that title. It's all about power control. But you don't know about it. You know about eating with the fans and putting on a performance.
Forgotten about that.
But you don't know about being champion. You want to be champion, but Seth Rollins has to be champion. He talks about Braun Breaker being stage 1 of the plan, the World Championship being stage 2. But he's going to do Jay a favor and says you can pick the date you're going to lose this World Championship. Seth Rollins challenges you to a title shot. Pick the time, place, because Seth will fight you anytime, any place. And Heyman goes to leave, and Uso calls him back whilst the fans are yeeting along as he says, did I just hear him right? Anytime, any place, anywhere. Let's do it tonight.
Oh my God.
A shameless exposition dump, but a really effective one.
Yeah.
I thought this. Super critical of Paul Heyman's work now for probably a couple of years, maybe even longer. I think we've been fairly honest about what works about the Paul Heyman character, what doesn't. Generally, he is, and if nothing else, quite loyal to the stories he's in because, well, he's a master politician and always has been. He books them.
Yeah.
Master politician knows that he will always keep himself in a good spot, sometimes at the expense of some of the wrestlers that surround him. But because he's been loyal to his stories for the most part, every now and then you get a situation like this where you can do a bit of a recap. This was a long ass previously on wrestling.
Yeah.
Previously on wrestling.
But one that clung mostly to the truth and a series of actions and kind of a cool few reveals along the way as well. It was very easy to buy that Heyman was holding on to a bit of resentment that Roman had lost at WrestleMania 40. And like back when we had the tree, and I'm not convinced in WWE we do anymore.
No tree.
That's why all of this was as effective
That's
as
the
it
new
was.
tree.
Well, they're working at trying to
Bad
build...
tree.
Good tree. I like this tree.
The tree has failed on top in every major top guy spot for 10 years. That tree I want to climb.
There was no obvious tree to me yet. I'm working on a theory that the tree might be that Braun and Jacob Fatu, Cena and Batista in next year's Royal Rumble might reveal how successful the tree is. But we're a long way off having a tree. But when there was a tree, it allowed for stuff like this, where Heyman can go back through the years and highlight moments that do actually cling together and stand up. And I thought he was very good at delivering that. Bit of the old ECW thing. He used to book ECW around stuff like this, around these big moments that meant a lot to the characters involved. And when he got Jey Uso, the guy who now stands as world champion, Heyman can sort of tacitly even suggest, well, you're there in that spot because of me and all that I was building here in the background, which is ultimately going to get what he wants, which is to neg Jey Uso into putting the belt on the line against Seth. Like, you can't do this all the time, and you certainly can't do this with everybody. I'm the biggest fan of when Triple H finds the link between two of the characters, but sometimes it's too tenuous for its own good.
It'd be funny if they've been linked in my face for 4 years.
Yeah, this wasn't, right through to like the mention of the new bloodline and Roman coming back for the Ula Fala. Like, that wasn't even something I really considered. We talked at the time about, when Heyman inevitably turns on Punk, he's going to have his rationale of, you using me to kind of manipulate your way into like WrestleMania. There was always something there that Heyman could have had a go at. I never thought when we were just watching the matches over the Ula Fala that Heyman could use that as well. Oh, thanks for coming back, mate. What do you mean you only want your necklace? You're not here to save me. Roman probably was there to save him, but in Heyman's mind, he can believe that he wasn't. And I was up for this main event. We'll talk more about some of the stuff I liked and didn't about the main event and how they used this big Seth Rollins Jey Uso match for the first time. But as a way to get there, and a way to do that kind of almost attitude era. How about tonight? Oh, strong stuff.
Yeah.
The exact same 2 words came to my mind watching this. Exposition dump. And as you said, like, it's not like, oh, God, remember when Cody and Drew were the tag team champions? And Rob Fee just pulled that out of his ass. I didn't need to know the connection because I've lived it for 4 years. A well-delivered, if you can tolerate it, I can't, exposition dump.
Yeah.
And it's funny you mentioned that Attitude Era, which, look, Vince Russo, near the middle. Austin Rock, and, hate to praise him these days, but he was unbelievable. Mr. McMahon at the top. In between those two things as to why the Attitude Era worked, McMahon, Austin Rock, Vince Russo, in the middle of those two things, false advertising. The very first victory to disrupt the 83-week streak, like 83-1. What was it?
Austin versus Vince in the main event.
Yeah, they said they were going to do Austin versus Vince. I remember watching that. I remember watching that on Friday Sky Sports and thinking, what? What?
Show long build, Pat.
It was unbelievable.
Gerald showing Vince counters and stuff like that. And then they get to the ring and then Vince is like, wait a minute, you said you could beat one hand time and you're about dragging it out. And yeah.
It's like you didn't care that you didn't get it. And the amount of times they would do this is astonishing. False advertising was a big driver. I'm very cynical. So you don't have to listen to this if you don't want. Actually, now keep listening. You don't have to take it seriously is what I'm saying. I went, Michael Cole was hammering it. First time in 7 months the title's been defended in a match where neither man can lose and you know what the finish is. I'm thinking, Netflix, we had a word here. It was Ari, the new scapegoat, the new big bad. Ari Emanuel thought, no, do this. Tricks being played. Yeah.
I thought they might do Jey Uso, Seth Rollins, the first Raw after WrestleMania. It was on my mind that they were going to just take the belt off him straight away, or at least use this idea that the new power heel stable needs the title as part of it. And then I genuinely thought this has been nicely plotted because of them throwing in the Logan Paul diversion last week. Felt like, you're going to go nowhere near this then. So I was pretty excited by the fact they brought these two back together.
We said this from the moment Jey was hinted at becoming world champion, let alone became world champion. But yeah, him as world champion is one of the few people who you buy a TV title defense where you go like, they could just switch it. They could just go, right.
I will say, I've said one of the masterstrokes of this Jey Uso thing in 2025, which I think it's come at the expense of too much earnestly good stuff like Punk versus Gunther or whatever, is because he's such a weird / bad choice as world champion, but also a good one. It's so bizarre. Every time he defends that title, I'm half thinking, get it off him, he's rubbish.
Yeah, yeah. Triple H hasn't booked.
Might take it off him, he's rubbish.
As a world champion, he's not yet booked like a skating on thin ice guy, has he? He just really likes his strong... I was going to say dominant. Cody Rhodes doesn't play dominant, but he just is dominant.
Like he's not going to lose until WrestleMania.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like he's got that with Jey Uso kind of for the first time.
Yeah. After this, Paul walks into their locker room where Seth and Braun are and tells them, He fell for it. Jay fell for it. He can't believe it. Seth was bang on the money, and he tells him, I told you so, and leaves, whilst Paul says, do you know what this means, Bron? And Bron said, I think so. And he's like, well, he's all the, Roman.
Let's use you as a surrogate for our moron fans.
Roman and Punk.
Not my words, the words of Paul Heyman.
Prepared for Seth Rollins in the main event of WrestleMania. Look, Jay, great champion, tapped out Gunther, but he hasn't been focused on Seth. He's been focused on Logan Paul, whilst Seth has been completely focused on winning this world title. And they're going to get handed the keys to the kingdom when the world championship is handed to Seth Rollins following the main event.
It was noticeable that, like you see in sitcoms sometimes, Triple H got to discover, wait a minute, if I can use Paul Heyman explaining something to thick old Bron Breakker once a week, I can get across any story I want. The amount of times you could feel it happening in front of you. It's like, they're going to go back to this device over and over. What do you mean by that, boss?
What?
Well, Bron, well, sir, let me just sit you down for 15 minutes.
Roman Reigns said that Cody Rhodes was in his way. What did he mean by that?
You're in my way in life. What's that, boss? What's that, boss? Oh, this is going to be great. I'm going to ruin Bron Breakker, and I'm going to laugh and laugh and laugh.
What does he mean he doesn't want the Intercontinental title? Don't we all want belts, boss? Well, sir, you see he wants the belt next. Oh, okay, I get it, boss. Oh.
What's that, boss? I got to beat 29 other men? But what? No. You got to outlast them. Other people can eliminate. You don't have to beat them 20. Okay, boss. So I can do one. Okay, boss.
Sit, stay, and fetch the plot with Bron Breakker. Walking you through WWE with Bron Breakker.
Mr. Money in the Bank. My surname's Breaker. This is going to be good. This is going to be great.
I still think this is a phenomenal pick for Money in the Bank, by the way. You saying Bron Breakker. It's a hell of a shout. I love it. Yeah, you said it last week, and I was like, oh, yeah, no, that makes all sense in the world.
Did it?
Yeah.
Because it's Seth's quest for the title, and then all of a sudden...
Oh, Seth can have a world championship, but Bron's like, I'm the insurance policy or whatever it may be. But I really liked all of this.
Chelsea Green that I pitched and you liked.
Yeah, but you also mentioned, maybe it was...
Maybe I am Mr. Money in the Bank.
Yeah. Yeah, it was in passing because you were talking about Chelsea. That was it. It was on Friday.
Right.
You were like Chelsea for women's and Bron for men's. I was like, Jesus, that's a hell of a lineup. Two very different Money in the Bank holders.
I can't remember it, but I'll take it.
I'm going to be out there with my pitch, considering something we saw that was teased on the post-WrestleMania Raw. I'm going with Mr. Sami Zayn.
How dare you? This is the year I don't pick him and he gets it, isn't it?
When they gave you that, oh God, sooner or later, Sammy's like this quest for the title and his inability to get it. Him holding the briefcase in line.
He won't cash in, will he? He'll do the honourable.
He won't cash in. Yeah. He'll cash in on John Cena, and then he'll realise that Jey Uso would have been an easier route or something like that, and then it's going to go back to the Rumble, and yeah, I think it's Sami Zayn's year.
Following this, we had Penta versus JD McDonagh. There's a big video package explaining what's been going on with the Judgment Day and Penta and what have you. They go to break early on. Penta's battered him, but McDonagh comes back with a DVD on the ring apron to take us to a break. When we come back, Penta makes his comeback, hits a sling blade and a backbreaker, both for near falls. Balor distracts the referee. Carlito tries to interfere, but Penta gets rid of him, sends McDonagh to the outside, takes out both of them with a diving crossbody. Balor goes to throw Penta back in the ring, and as he does it, the ref's just looking at him. He's just frozen, and he and Carlito get kicked out of ringside. Chad Gable shows up to interfere whilst the referee's distracted, but Penta takes him out with a flip dive. McDonagh hits a jawbreaker, tries to hit his moonsault, but Penta dodges that and wins with a Mexican/Canadian destroyer.
I enjoyed our debates pre-WrestleMania about where exactly Penta was sitting. I don't think it's really a debate anymore. Like the defeat at WrestleMania and this position of him as realistically Dirty Dom's first losing challenger at Backlash.
Done a lot of losing as Penta.
A lot of losing, like all of a sudden. And I think that they've maybe their ambition.
Maybe we should have some about his prospects in WWE.
That's real good.
It's all good stuff.
Yeah, like maybe WWE and Penta's ambition was WrestleMania, peak there, tag stuff. 6 months in now, tag stuff. He's popped himself, hasn't he? Yeah. Because I just don't feel much for
Delaying the inevitable with Phoenix.
Yeah. Like
I told you from day one, buddy.
It was nice. I had a nice old 4 months. But I like, they can always flip this sort of thing, I suppose, and they can like just heating back up again. I just don't sense they will. I think we've kind of gone as far as we can go with Penta as a singles. And this can be fun, but you're feeling it in the crowd reactions as well. There's no sense of, we need to back this guy. It's that fans back winners thing. And
prefer his new theme.
They've been told just enough that he's not a winner, though. And that's...
I was right being informed that it was good and didn't need changing. This match was pretty boring.
Yeah. It's because the investment in Penta's gone.
Yeah.
We see backstage from last week, Grayson Waller getting himself a singles match. And then he's moaning to Postman Pierce about it all because he's found out who his opponent is. Austin Theory shows up and he's like, actually, I'm such a good guy, actually. Austin, why don't you take this match? Because I feel bad about everything that happened. And Theory's like, oh, yeah, sweet. Sounds good. Who am I facing? Waller says, oh, it's a surprise. More on that in a second because we went to a break here, and then when we came back, it was Austin Theory's match against a mystery opponent. But as I was, the little back in 3 minutes, I went, let's rewind this because it's our boy, Karrion Kross, who cut a promo talking about all the guilt that Sami Zayn must be feeling for being involved with the years of the
AJ
bloodline.
Styles, huh?
And he also references he's a killer. And he also says, hey, I'm nobody special. I'm just the devil you know versus the devils you don't.
This is like the creatively bad version of the early MJF Hurt Syndicate stuff in that I don't know what's going on. I love it. Like, I'm not convinced Karrion Kross knows what's going on in any given week, but God damn it, he'll try.
He was pitching Kathy Kelly joining Seth Rollins' stable during all this. I had no idea what was going on.
Just pitches out and he delivers it so well and has clearly got loads of people on the hook for it. We were first. But
yes, we were first.
Loads of other people on the hook for it that he's making something of it. Now, when he works like a main event match, of which Karrion Kross has worked plenty of main event matches, there's almost uproar that he is merely on main event or... he'll lose a match. And it's like, how dare they do that to Karrion Kross? Like, him becoming an unlikely yes movement story when the only guy that was saying yes to Karrion Kross at one point was Triple H.
I know.
Going back 5 years.
Getting Money in the Bank.
It was only
Don't even win it, but the pissed off people when he doesn't win it, and he's like...
It is the strangest set of circumstances. The foundations don't feel solid still. And yet he continues to talk himself into working with whoever the hell he likes. Like next week, he might just name check John Cena again. And that was where all this started. He could just do it, couldn't he? He could just name check John Cena. It's like, ooh, was he the reason John Cena turned?
Yeah, man.
Karrion Kross will have it that he was. Like, that's what he does every week.
I love him. I love him so much.
I like him.
Great. I know he's been doing this for a long time, but this word has been bastardized by us and various other usages of it. But the sinister nature when he's like, just having a laugh at me. Imagine, and I'm like, oh God, he's going to snap and kill someone in 2 seconds.
Well, take him longer than that.
The R-Truth.
Was
it R-Truth? Who was it who he was like, yay, kill him now.
Yeah.
Love him. Anyway, then we got to find out the mystery opponent for Austin Theory. It wasn't a ghost. It was...
What's wrong with you?
He was very white because it was Sheamus.
Spooky way.
Returning for the first time since the Rumble, I believe.
Yeah.
Theory...
Realised he'd gone that long.
Theory not happy finding out this was who he was saddled with. Obviously, Sheamus destroyed
When's he
him.
going to learn that Grayson Waller does not have some...
Oh my God, when they were starting to do this, I was like, it's been well over a year. Yeah. Well over a year and we're still doing this. Oh, what?
Yeah, it's just the old breadcrumbs.
Shut up.
Every single week,
We were getting on last week.
Sheamus,
as soon as he's come back, he's showing off.
He is showing off. He is.
Get giddy.
You're showing up, you're getting over it.
He was like, last week, he's like, yeah. Ali Black is rubbish. Smackdown was poor. I was like,
it was a great match against Miz on
Jack
Friday.
Nicholson and anger management.
Really like the match against the Miz. Great stuff. Best match he's probably had in the last 5 years, in my opinion. Sheamus batters Austin Theory. I can't even look at him.
Just went to the abyss, right?
Just
chilling in the abyss.
That's what the A-in. Anyway.
Sheamus Wrestling, we workshop that. It was good. It's all good stuff.
All been good stuff. I might just go back and listen to all them.
And while you're on it, listen to your travel diaries.
Oh, yeah, Phil and Fed's Excellent Adventures. I can't listen to them for about 6 months, otherwise it's going to make me feel sad. I might listen to you guys. I like you. I think your content's fantastic.
Did we mention Hamflett on the podcast last week? I can't remember if we... he might have mentioned you in passing. I can't remember.
Did this about Mally Black when he was like, because like the fact it's so funny how it's like, oh, he's working the Miz on day one. That's so funny. When it was like, so all our 2022 to like, what was it? The Raw or two at SmackDown after WrestleMania, like nearly 3 years. Let's round it up. 1,000 days, we'll call it.
Yeah.
Okay. He's like, all out 2022 is like, right, chalkboard, prison thing. I'm in prison, right? Day one, done. I'm going to the Fed. Or am I? And it's like, at the end of the day, he's like, broken arm, withered, a little nub of chalk to like signify the last day in prison. I rest. And it's like all of those dreams, all those nights with that nub of chalk, like, oh God, one more day. I finally get my dream of wrestling the Miz. 1,000 days just for the Miz.
And that prison analogy as well, considering that when he left WWE, he literally left a prison. So this is just prison on prison. He just walks into various different, a new prison.
What is one's mind if not a prison?
6 months later, when he's streaming about how he hated working this, a third prison.
So Sheamus killed Austin Theory here. At one point, he puts him in the cloverleaf. Theory gets to the ropes, and then just gets thrown out to the feet of Grayson Waller, who's like, all right, mate. And Sheamus hits a forearm off the top rope to the floor, celebrates with everyone at ringside as we go to a commercial. When we come back, Theory's taken over here, a draping neck breaker off the apron. He goes for the 10 beats on Theory, but he gets out of it. And
crowd are bloody up for it, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Slingshots back into the ring, but straight into a Sheamus knee strike. Theory hit a rolling blockbuster, but Sheamus hit an avalanche white noise, 14 beats to the bodhrán, and a brogue kick for the 1-2-3. Good to see Sheamus back.
It was good to see Sheamus back in front of, a receptive crowd. He
loved him.
They were hot for a lot of stuff, but I think Sheamus is a baby. We keep talking about, like, the Sheamus win or retire Intercontinental title story, whatever we're going to do. It's still there, but it feels sometimes like it just disappears further into the distance. This was
Looks a lot easier now considering who's holding the belt.
Well, yeah.
But then you might get booed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They won't do it yet.
Nice. There's another time for that story, probably. This, if nothing else, was the stuff you sort of have to do sometimes. They're re-establishing Sheamus as a upper mid-card babyface threat when you've got a brand new heel stable.
You roll for him.
You know? He's going to get fed to Bron Breakker again, isn't he? Or something along those lines. Like, you just remind everybody that you've got him around, and he hasn't been seen since the Rumble. And Sidge is right. Like,
I didn't really.
I wasn't caring, but now it's like, whoa, Sheamus has not been here since the Rumble. That's promotion. They'll, feed him to somebody soon. This is fine.
Anything you want to say?
No, nothing. Not one bit.
The match, I mean, Christ, it's Austin Theory.
Yeah.
Like,
I just felt so sorry for him.
It's nothingness.
Like, Grayson Waller's like put him in this position. I thought they were mates. Right, we found out a new match has been announced.
We were getting on, man.
For Backlash, as we alluded to earlier, Dominic Mysterio IC title against Penta. So we go to the clubhouse. JD comes in, pissed off with what happened and why Gable got involved. And then AJ Styles just walks in and goes, "Hey, Prince," to Finn Balor.
Did you get it? That's a deep reference to their shared history in Bullet Club.
I didn't know that. That's good to know. I'm surprised Michael Cole didn't tell us that immediately.
Probably what he's changed his new password to, isn't it?
And they were like, "How the hell did you get in here?" And he just said,
"Actually, can he f***ing call him Prince and we can't use the New Japan screenshot?"
Yeah.
Get on them, trademark.
If anything.
Takedown of that.
Speaking of takedowns, that was a good one.
Thanks.
You got him. Well, you should have got it. Specsavers.
I'll take the piss out of you when I was not doing the Wrestle Kingdom shit.
He walks in and they're like, "How the hell did you get in here?" And he just says, "Oh, R-Truth told me where it was." And it's not exactly hard to find. Basically, he says he's coming for the winner of the IC title match post Backlash. And he leaves. And Dominic Mysterio, I really like Dom, obviously. Everyone's on a massive high with him. He's like, "Why does everyone want to fight me for my title? I'm a champion.
Yeah.
I've got to defend it all the time." He asks Balor to take care of Styles because they've got history. And Balor's like, "You want me to clean up your mess again?" "Nah, just joking. I'll take care of it. Yeah, no worries."
I like Balor in this spot a great deal. I am enjoying Finn Balor. As increasingly pissed off.
Get out the ring.
Guy. Yeah.
I like that match at Mania, to be fair.
Yeah.
I saw something on Twitter Was he talking into Roxanne Perez in the background recently?
Finn Balor.
You know, she's on her way.
Is she? Because she's getting jobbed most weeks.
Which is it?
And
What's
I'm
going on with
so
her?
confused.
What's happening there with her? Strange as she.
I don't know, man.
But, you know, she's been someone who we've been talking about getting to the main roster.
She's on it and she's not.
They won't give you it, will they? They just will. That's all you've been asking for all this time. They cannot commit.
It's got that can is just sitting on your desk.
She keeps
waiting.
going back, man.
Go away or come and do something.
Stay, do something.
Go away or come.
The New Day approach Chad Gable backstage and they say, awful what happened to you. Xavier said, yeah, an American made should be getting more bloody tag title opportunities. I loved Xavier's hair here. Basically, they're saying, you deserve more than the War Raiders, which later on in the show gets announced that they are going to be Creed Brothers versus War Raiders, number one contenders match, effectively. And then Becky Lynch walks by and they're all heels, do a...
Hey, you all right?
I like douchebag New Day.
Yeah.
Increasingly, I'm enjoying douchebag New Day.
Now expectations are lowered.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the reality, yeah. Xavier Woods is always really good at this, but do you remember that? So when the New Day got over his heels, as Woods knew they would, back when, like, Vince McMahon was just like, you can't be happy enough to be there. It's like, they're going to hate us, so we'll just be that, and then sooner or later they'll just say New Day sucks and we'll be fine. Kofi Kingston played the version of the role where he never knew they were heels. And that was really endearing because inevitably within 6 months they were baby faces again and we got what we got. Seeing him be a full-on douchebag, Woods you knew could do it, but seeing Kofi Kingston kind of embrace that as well.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, I'm getting a bit of a
It is
kick out
good
of that.
stuff.
The rest of the division, I hate it.
Oh, come on.
The Raw Tag Division is bleak, pal.
It was so much fun on the day after whatever night it was. Netflix. Was it 10 or 15 seconds on your old phone?
10.
Then, yeah.
Nothing's still happening. Bang, 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 bing, bang, boom. Nothing's happening. Put it on Raw, please. Yeah. This match sucks.
Weird choice,
Nothing
that.
much.
Speaking of the New Day, congratulations to Big E on his engagement.
Congratulations.
But Becky Lynch, following walking through with all the heels, which is a weird... Chad Gable, Becky Lynch and the New Day. Big heel stable, of course, there. Imagine saying that a few years ago. Becky Lynch walks out, and she's pissed off with the fans, treating her like the bad guy. She's the victim. When she returned at WrestleMania, everyone lost their minds. A woman in the crowd cried tears of joy. No one cared about Bayley because she's garbage. And Lynch took out the garbage, and now everyone's mad that she did. You should thank me for it, basically. She refers to Lyra Valkyria as recycling. She's less offensive than regular garbage, but she's still garbage. Her attitude is, she didn't have a dream or a title if it hadn't been for me, says Becky Lynch. She wouldn't even have a fiancé. This brings out Lyra Valkyria. She called Becky Lynch the queen of recycling because she's been recycling the same moves in the tired old act for the last few years. She's not happy about Becky obviously claiming credit for her success. She says, look, you went away, you went on holiday and everyone else got better. I made history. And I've also defended this belt more times than you've even shown up for work this year. You had no intention of taking anyone to the top with you. And Lynch said, you're right. Everyone did have their best year of their career when I wasn't here because I wasn't here to compare yourself to me. It's not my job to help anybody. It's my job to beat everybody. And I'm the greatest to ever do it. That's not my words, Lynn. That is the words of Sports Illustrated. And Valkyria's like, yeah, look, fair play. You know, you've done some amazing things. You've main evented WrestleMania, all that good stuff. And you were the first women's IC champion. Oh, no, that was me, wasn't it? It's good stuff. As long as I'm here, you better like second place. Becky Lynch tries to cheap shot her, but Valkyria sees it coming and tackles her, and they brawl and get separated. And then Lynch gets away from all this, starts grabbing a mic and ranting about disrespect. But she gets caught with the Nightwing, trying for the manhandle slam, and Lyra Valkyria stands tall ahead of their match at Backlash.
Maybe this is a subjective thing because I just really like Becky Lynch. I'm really into this. We've been supporters of Becky Lynch, especially post-2021 comeback, for a variety of different reasons. And something I love, and I think history is incredibly kind to her as well. Not only does the work stand up for itself, as you're living through it, it's a really good match, but then you watch it back and you realise the difference in what Becky Lynch did for some, and then when those go on to wrestle others, you're like, nah, you really need Becky Lynch out there to help you. The very controversial SummerSlam finish where she squashed Bianca Belair, she says it in a book, she didn't want that, but she took it as a project then to be like, right, we fix this, and Bianca Belair comes out with this way better, and then you get that amazing WrestleMania 38 payoff to it all, and then you look kindly on the squash.
Probably let it play out when it happened at some
No,
stage.
it's the opposite of that.
It's the opposite of that. It's the opposite of that.
no.
It's the opposite.
She has to
The
say
big
that.
heat angle in that feud was Bianca Belair give Becky Lynch a rather fetching new wave head.
It looked awesome, didn't it? Yeah.
Just give her a nice haircut. What are we doing here?
That was her working through a completely broken creative system, trying to make the best of it. But her making the best of it through a more sort of like competent creative system gets you stuff like this, ultimately. I enjoy the fiction of Becky Lynch, this character currently, but equally I'm kind of enjoying watching her yet again, like think, right, here's my project, here's what I want to do, here's when I'm going to show ass, here's when I'm going to like try and be the heel, be the beatdown. It's a different sort of heel to big time Bex. It's not quite as on the nose, but
Different heel to Charlotte Flair, really, when she works with up and coming talent, isn't it?
that cannot be ignored, the comparison, really.
What'd you say? I don't know whether it'd be annoying. I didn't actually hear what he said.
Oh no, I was just saying it. Becky Lynch being a heel and bringing up someone like Lyra Valkyria, who I think has looked really good in recent weeks. Slightly
She's holding her own.
Yeah, slightly different to the way Charlotte does it with.
Yeah.
There are some clear differences in there. And they've even used something that we took the piss out of at the time, which is Lyra Valkyria being totally starry-eyed for Becky Lynch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they've smartly ripped the piss out of, like, Becky Lynch has ripped the piss out of that, as she should.
Good boy. Am I doing good, boy?
Am I flying, boys? Am I flying?
Stomp, clamp, stomp, clamp, stomp, stomp, clamp.
Yeah, you're flying, Lyra. Yeah, you're a bird. No, they've ripped the piss out of that, just the right amount as Becky Lynch with a heel voice to be able to say it, so that Lyra can say, well, you thought I was that. You're a dumb idiot because I'm going to kick your ass at the pay-per-view. I think this has been good booking throughout. A nice little twist with the heel turn from the beginning. You've had the reveal of her being Bayley's attacker, so you're already setting up your next stuff. And I think Becky beats her at Backlash, and I think there's
Knocks her off her perch.
Yep. And some requisite heartbreak to go along with it of her, and like, everything I said was true. You were a useless loser. Bird.
Look, it's not Zbyszko Sammartino.
No.
They are just reading each other's Wikipedia pages at one another to see who wins, which is basically every WWE storyline ever. But I will say there's got to be a temptation for this crowd who haven't been playing along of late to just go with the star. I think it says a lot about Lyra Valkyria and how much confidence she has and poise that she's just completely no-selling the idea that might happen, and she's really holding her own in these boilerplate verbal exchanges.
Becky Lynch is better at doing this kind of like instant, oh, now she's a heel, she has to show some ass, than 90% of the people have ever done it. That segment the other week where she bottled it, ran into the crowd, and then because it's an arena, you're allowed to actually use a corridor and come out and attack her again. People would instantly remember that. It's like, you dick.
Yeah.
You absolute dick. And I think like she's very good at doing that when she's one of them when she's a baby face, she's one of the most over people on the show. She was like waiting for you, each and every one of you telling me I suck. The "you suck" chant wasn't really coming. It's still not natural for audiences to hate Becky Lynch. And I think she does a good job at working to get that heat.
The world champion was in action next. It was non-title. It was Io Sky versus Roxanne Perez because of what's been going on with her and Julia, and obviously Rhea Ripley, who they noted was over in Australia promoting Crown Jewel, which is going to be going down.
Was she with any like friends or acquaintances? Or?
She actually was with Grayson Waller, right, for the promotion. But other than that, I didn't see a photo with anyone. And I suppose Grayson Waller kind of has to be there.
Yeah, they're more colleagues than pals.
Yeah, you have to do that. So I'd probably just look at that and assume she's got no mates.
I love it. Forgot about that.
But yes.
It's the Eugene Parmesan, that, isn't it?
Yeah. I love it.
So, Io Sky, Roxanne Perez. Io goes for a dive. Perez slips back in the ring and targets her leg as she did throughout this match. Hits a dive, does Perez following this, but takes too much time soaking it all in, and Io Sky takes her out with the suicide dive. But Perez knocks her down, targets the leg as we go to a break, continues to do it. But Sky, when we come back, hits an arm drag off the second rope, and then hit a missile drop kick and did the thing, which is getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Did you see the guy from NXT last week?
No.
Oh, right. No, say no more. We'll show you.
It's awesome.
Okay.
But she can't
Such
follow.
a cool guy.
Yeah.
Well, not genuinely. I thought it was really good.
She can't follow up the missile dropkick though because of the injured leg or knee or whatever. Sky hits a double foot stomp as Perez tries to take advantage, though. Hit a German suplex, rolled through for another, but Perez counters with a back suplex. Sky comes back with a backbreaker. Perez dodged the moonsault, though, and Io Sky in landing, knowing it was not going to be hit, landing on her legs, tweaked her knee again. Perez hit a double knee drop for 2, and then they exchange cradles until Sky catches her for the 1, 2, 3. Post-match, Roxanne Perez says, you know what? Fair play. Let's shake hands. And it's all a swerve, obviously, because Julia jumps Io Sky from behind. Perez joins in, kicking the crap out of her. She's got no mates. Rhea's in Australia, and Dakota Kai's unfortunately no longer with the company.
So she's got no mates.
Oh, yeah, Io Sky's got no f***ing mates. Yeah.
Correct.
That's great. Really enjoyed this. What's happening with the tag division on SmackDown seems to be what's happening with the women on Raw, which is just, it all feels revitalized, or people feel motivated in their new spots, and that post-WrestleMania thing where seemingly, like, it's all to play for. Like, the WWE create, on purpose, they create this idea that it's a bit of a land of opportunity post-WrestleMania because you've got 12 months to find yourself and get yourself into the spot next year. Some wrestlers are motivated by that, driven by what they didn't get this year. You sense Roxanne Perez is one of those. And Io Sky, in a very sort of like, in a very different way, having now finally seemed to have broken through in a different way with audiences as a world champion, rather than just being this caretaker for the title going into WrestleMania, having won that match and become sort of the undisputed lead babyface on a Raw women's division that also has Rhea Ripley on it, is loving life. You can just see in the matches, like, she's that pose thing she's gotten over all of a sudden is like, it's almost completed the package. And
it's like the icing on that cake.
The icing on the cake. Like, WWE audiences, and I'm not a critic of them, but like ball knowers are, like, do want big flashing light moments and things to get excited for and wait to see and pay to see, by the way. And that's what's key to all this. And Io Sky's just found that one. And she's been wrestling her ass off this entire run to find it. And deserves it. Like, this was just a really lovely bit of in-ring business that almost fools some of those fans into, like, me and Sidge talk about Bret Hart being the guy that taught us the language of pro wrestling. Like, you could argue Io Sky did that here because, like, she's selling a leg. Roxanne Perez very convincingly works a leg. Io Sky sells it, and the fans are like, no, I want you to do this stuff that I've just learned to really enjoy. No, I can't because, like, you felt like it was happening. And Roxanne's great for that as well. My suspicion is, based on WWE finishes of late, they would have loved to have not had to beat Roxanne.
Well, I booked a match.
But knew they couldn't because of something they had in mind for the main event. Yeah. And thus thought, well, we're going to have to, God damn, I'm going to have to give them a finish. I booked them in.
Damn.
Yeah, but
we get Io Sky and Rhea Ripley versus Roxanne Perez and Julia on TV next week, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I've got a hot take for you. Oh, I'm happy for Io Sky. Genuinely like the thing. Just prop it over.
Yeah,
now.
It's real,
just
innit?
really, really earned it. So I'm genuinely, I think she's great. Genuinely happy for her. Had a great year so far. After the Bailey match, that really reinforced me. Io Sky is great. They should do more with it. They've done more with her. It's been great. Like, fair play. Fair play. Roxanne Perez. I get the feeling she's showing off in there. And maybe it's, you probably would if you're like, you've got this new spot and if you've got any ideas in your head and it's not just an agent telling you and she's trying to putting her input in these matches.
And she lasted a long time in the Rumble, so her confidence will be floating as well. Don't forget that.
Yeah, I know. It's been reiterated to me quite a few times.
Yep.
At certain points during this match, mainly in the early phase, but throughout as well, I'm thinking, do a move. Because she's got that actual good pro wrestling experience, which quite frankly so few of the PC people do down in NXT, she can do counters, she can do feints, she can lay traps, she can wrestle. I think there's a bit of a show-off quality to her work, and it was evident in this match, and I've seen it in a few things as well, where she does a move, she knows it's going to get countered, so she'll have the counter to the counter. It got to a point I'm watching her last night, well, just do a move then. Yeah, you're pissing about in there. I just got the feeling like she's showing off. There was a point where she was doing this chain of a sequence, and after all that she just is doing a really elaborate move. It's like she's got her head exposed, grab the headlock or kick her in the face. Like, she was showing off a bit in there. I think she does that quite a bit. Do
you think she knows, or she's been able to figure out what the hell they want out of her? Because it must be tricky being Roxanne Perez at the moment. So, like, she's a pushed commodity as a heel on Raw.
It builds the entire 2 years of NXT around.
Yeah, and they're not on the roster technically. She's going back to NXT and doing jobs where she's playing like a loser that has had to like rethink everything because of the defeat she's faced. A clear WrestleMania path was in place, and was then just completely taken away or changed or whatever. I don't know. I think it must be a bit. She must be thinking every week, right? What Roxanne Perez should do this
thinking
week?
of that being, welcome to my world.
yeah, true. So
No simpy.
I'm only realising now why
No simpy.
you have been so. Why you've campaigned so heartily for her to get this main roster run? Because I see now what you were looking for.
Well, I don't see it because I've just said she's showing off.
There was another backstage segment during the break. Another backstage segment during the break I wanted to mention here because a bit of a clue on the whole who is El Grande Americano. I'm not sure if there's anything in this. Postman Pierce said, "Hey Americano" to Gable, who must have thought like he was just getting his Starbucks order or something because he turned around. So I don't know if there's anything in that. Also, did you see El Grande Americano? Who, by the way, if it is Chad Gable, I don't think it is, but if it is Chad Gable, everyone can shut up now about him winning a singles title because he's won the WWE Speed Belt. So what's the problem? Shut up.
So you're going to go, which is it? You're going to basically play both sides.
Which one is it? Well, I'm just asking questions here. So
the Americana thing, that's a beat for beat of their, when at the start of season 3 of The Traitors, when Claudia Winkham went, "Traitors," and one of them went, like that,
yes.
looked up and
You might as well have said yes.
nobody caught her doing it.
Well, one person.
Well,
did.
one did, and then she managed to she's a liar. She is.
God, I miss the Traitors. Oh,
He's won the Speed title.
Yes. Well, no, sorry. El Grande Americano on Cinco de Mayo has won the WWE Speed title. So funny.
Well, I don't know, man.
Have a laugh. Come on. Stop being so blue, so serious. See that bloke's t-shirt about, what cures depression in the crowd last night?
I did, yeah.
Why do you think I'm so happy all the time? Anyway, Rusev versus
See this?
Otis.
You see this?
You know what's this shit? It's something to do with Jacking it.
No, but yeah.
I mean, find it for you.
You're in the right.
You talk about how much you really like El Grande Americano. What were you going to do?
I had nothing left on it. I don't like it, though.
It says, eating pussy cures depression.
Right. In-ring return for Rusev came next against Otis. Big man stuff early on. Rusev hits an awesome spinning heel kick to take us to a break.
That looked good, that.
It did, especially in slow-mo. Takes his head off. Sends him out of the ring when we come back with a drop kick. Goes out after him, but Otis suplexes him over
Otis,
the
who's
announce
that?
table.
Who's Otis? And who Otis is?
Otis slams his arm against the ring post.
Hardcastle singing 90.
Otis ducks a kick though, and Rusev kicks the ring post. They fight back into the ring. Otis goes for a corner charge. Rusev hits a super kick and gets him with the accolade. Otis taps out, but he won't let go after the match. Akira Tozawa tries to make the save and says, "Let's fight right now."
Miss this.
Rusev doesn't want any of this. He leaves, and obviously immediately comes back in and then powerbombs Tozawa onto Otis, which looked awesome. And then accoladed him until officials broke it up.
Throwing guys on guys is awesome. It is. Always. That's always awesome. Otherwise, I think this lacked something that awesome in the body of the match. I knew what they were going for. It's wrestling. You've seen this sort of scene play out a million times. I'm also very acceptant of the process and how you've got to trust it and you've got to sort of say, well, you cannot just bring him. Not everyone can just come in and beat up Jey Uso, for example. You've got to map out your challenges or whoever, but a top guy. I am not convinced that they see Rusev as anything more than a cool guy to bring back to cause bother in the mid-card. And a lot of people said that about Andrade, and look at where Andrade is now. I'm not convinced about Aleister Black. I know he's getting some pelters for a lot of reasons.
Me neither.
But I think at the same, the thing was, I like Rusev a great deal, but there was only once when I was like, I think you could be it. I think you could be the real deal. And it was when he was in the Abyss as the Redeemer. That was that one period of time when I'm watching him every single week and thinking, you're smashing the glass ceiling here.
Of all years to stand out with so much competition, 2021.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And we just mentioned it with Io Sky. Sometimes there is just a thing where, and it's not just her pose, but like a few little things come together at the same time, and now you're it. Now you are it. And I don't know if it's something to do with how his AEW run ended, or maybe how too much of his WWE run was wasted. And like realistically, let's like it was creative malpractice when they had Rusev Day, and Vince McMahon just thought it was a joke.
They're laughing at you.
That was absolutely a point. It might not have worked, but that was a point to try because people were desperate to carry him at the world title, and it didn't happen. I don't know. Like, but the chucking guys on guys is awesome, and the more he does that, he's fine. But nothing in the match, or truthfully, anything of this comeback yet, has made me think you're going to sit in that mid card and earn some money, and that's good for you. But
I think you might fight Jey Uso.
Maybe like. It's been 3 weeks. I'm not going to be some like reactionary idiot on the internet saying you've wasted it, you've blown it again with Rusev. I'm not feeling it really.
Poorly fumbled.
Yeah.
I reckon he should have killed some poor prick first, then did the big fun meat match, because there was an expectation of, the big, it's a bit generic these days, I guess, but like people still into it. Like live crowds love these matches, and they enhance them for me. I will say, I was with Hamflett here. Nothing in the body of the match impressed me a great deal. I was expecting something a bit more fun. However, when Akira, have you got to the Akira Tozawa bit? Yeah. When he did the t-shirt rip, he was like, I'm standing up for my mate. Rusev, he's always been a good actor. His face was like, hang on, you're doing a bit more weirdly impressed by this, maybe a little bit frightened.
I want to prepare for this.
Yeah, I don't want a bit of you. Jesus Christ, when you're this confident. And then he has the look on his face to go and kill him afterwards. Really well done, and my immediate thought was just do the Fuego del Sol match again with Tozawa. That'll be good.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, it's Backlash this weekend coming, of course, and as a result, Postman Pierce brings out Pat McAfee and Gunther to the ring. Did you see Sabrina Carpenter dressing as Gunther at the Met Gala?
No.
Yeah, I'll show you afterwards. And he's told both of them to keep professional until Saturday. But Gunther says, hey, don't worry, I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to spoil Saturday. And unlike you and Michael Cole, I'm going to be a professional. Crowd chants, you tapped out. And Gunther tells him to shut up and he'll get back to that. Don't you worry. Pat McAfee talks about Michael Cole being the GOAT. People chant for Cole. And he talks about him dedicating 28 years, missing only 3 days. Cole's earned the right to have an opinion, says Pat. But it bothers Gunther so much that he attacked a 60-year-old man. McAfee puts over Omaha, Nebraska, talks about the Cornhuskers. He talks about steak. Nobody beats this town's meat. So, talks about the college baseball World Series being held in this town. Is that one of your sort of thing? American sports guy?
Give me long enough in a bar and I can make it my thing.
Dogs jumping in water.
Yeah, 7 screens with different sports. Oh man, hockey and basketball playoffs at the same time in a bar in Calgary. And I was like... With 2 generations of Nicholas, by the way, and I'm just like, well, it gets no better than this, is it? It gets now, and I'm...
Tour was good.
It's all been good stuff. It's been too good. That's my problem.
Yeah. Save to come back down to earth.
Hey, look at it this way. We're both in our 30s. So.
Yeah, we're both in our 30s.
Oh.
Yeah.
We're all in our 30s. That's how it goes, isn't it?
We're all in our 30s.
Remember it says we're all in our 30s? You said both. It's we're all in our 30s. That's how the bit goes.
Well, this is my first bad day in my 40s, so nothing but good things to say about it, actually. So if anything, I'll win.
Anyway.
You're not even 40 yet. It's class up here.
Omaha is a symbol of dreams coming true. McAfee says he thought he and Gunther had things in common. They both grew up wanting to be in this industry, spending hours watching wrestling in front of the TV.
Well, you're a footballer then. Did that thought not enter your head when you started going on about this?
No.
Should have.
It's a fair point.
Can't like it that much. Like we played football instead.
Gunther's been in the business for 20 years. He's been a champion for 80% of his time in WWE, but he's become jaded. It's just a job to you now. But McAfee was jacked up every
Not even
time.
your job. Just a job to one person, not even the other person's job. Come on, you had me last week. What are we doing here? Go on. Sorry, continue.
McAfee thought about being 11 years old and dreaming to get into the ring to let assholes like Gunther know he doesn't like them.
Yeah, actually, I will sort of push back on that a little bit. He, in the build to the Austin Theory match at WrestleMania, the whole deal with Pat McAfee was I wanted to do this so much, but I wasn't good enough. So I went into football. He was putting over wrestling by virtue of saying he ended up as a punter in football. Like,
Okay.
that's his story.
Okay.
Like in Pat McAfee.
It's fake.
Hey, I mean, he made a gazillion trillion dollars in football. That's why.
Yes.
What for kicking? Like you would, wouldn't you?
For kicking.
I could do that.
Collegiate punter. Michael Sidgwick.
It talks about Gunther in his waltering around stage, but he doesn't want it anymore. It happened with Sami Zayn, happened with Jey Uso. He's going to show everybody that Gunther's gone swift. Gunther, I love this, says, "You enjoy your daughter's birthday last week? It's been a special day, right, Pat?" Well, let me tell you, Backlash going to be a special day for me. And this is where I alluded to earlier, I had my bodily reaction. I'm describing it as a fear boner.
Gets erect when bad guys do things in WWE now.
It was the bit where last week where...
You say you got an actual erection last week.
Yeah, Sami
When you
Zayn...
say there's no real heat in you, like, well, try telling that to Wilbourn's dick.
Yeah.
When Sami Zayn said basically go to hell to Seth Rollins and he just looked sad and then you heard the Bron was like, Bron's going to kill him. This bit where Gunther's like, "You enjoy your daughter's birthday?" Because let me tell you, it's a special day for me on Saturday. My first match since Mania. I'm going to show up sharper and more focused than ever. I'm going to beat you up. I'm going to maul you. I'm going to drive your head into the mat and choke you out. Only the grace of God is going to be able to lift my hands off of your throat. And he storms off.
Adored this, and I think this program is singing, and I haven't obviously had the opportunity to talk about it. Yeah, because I saw, it was after last week's Raw that I saw on X, a bunch of boring losers were saying, Gunther is a footballer. No, he's a wrestler. He's a wrestler. You can't buy a footballer. Shut the up. Like, yeah, you never watched wrestling in your idiot lives. They're out there talk about knowing the business, and I haven't got a clue. Like, I think this whole thing's been brilliant, right? Contrasts, for one. Like, the obvious contrast between everything that, like, Gunther has said there and this, like, this knowing, like, Pat McAfee's going to get a hope spot. Are they going to lose their minds at that as well? Like, when Pat tries and then gets his ass handed to him. Like, the post-WrestleMania angle was fantastic. Like, sold as well by Michael Cole and Joe Tessor as it was by Pat McAfee and Gunther themselves.
Love the test.
Tess coming out with this, like, oh, gee, I haven't got my shirt. Sorry, I'm here, yeah. Pat McAfee, one of the few times, right, where, because they've tried to put over Michael Cole as this, like, thank God for Michael Cole, this wrestling historian, this voice of WWE, this.
And I mean...
In the absence of The Undertaker, he's kind of become the cornerstone. So this whole thing, right?
Yeah.
I thought Pat McAfee did a really good job here of basically making the desk general 3 days off. Gunther, you should get that. You should get who Michael... If nothing else, you should get who Michael Cole is. Because if you think this mat is sacred, so does he.
Yeah.
3 days off in all of this time. You can think what you want about him, but that's what I know. And last week, Pat McAfee was talking about loyalty, and that kind of backed that up and how he was loyal to him then, and he's going to be loyal to him in the kicking of a lifetime he's going to take.
Sorry,
Like,
that's Sabrina Carpenter there at the minute.
That's good. That's Gunther's best gear as well. Up to this point until he does the palace swap and he wears the white trunks.
There's always the white, yeah.
I cannot fathom what people can't get about this, other than if you're just apparently supposed to put Gunther in title matches every week. Like, this is interesting. This is genuinely interesting. I cannot wait to watch the match. So it's just effective promotion, ultimately, like watching these two. Pat McAfee willfully walking towards his death out of support for his mate. Strong babyface stuff, and he's on his day. This is the thing about Pat McAfee. He's a massive arsehole. He really winds me up sometimes, but he can sell a fight as both a heel and a babyface. I remember how much I love the Adam Cole stuff, and I'm liking watching him sell this as a babyface. He's got so many of the requisite skills required to be like an elite tier wrestler, other than when the bell rings. But don't let that put you off the fact that Gunther's going to...
I think he's going to be better than people remember in the ring as well.
I think
people, dismiss him as a celebrity. And
Probably putting a better individual performance than Jey Uso, and I am not...
No, I totally agree.
I'm not being facetious here at all.
And like to build up...
Was it Theory when he backflipped off the top rope? Or was
He does that every match.
He does that. That's all of his matches. He's like a more palatable Logan Paul, realistically, because you've seen less of it.
Like
but
both of them, yeah.
The mauling that they have sold in this last 3 weeks, and as a follow-up program for Gunther, to be putting him right back... Like, WrestleMania ends and Gunther's lost to Jey Uso. Nothing you were booking in that moment is as interesting as what we've got with... If you're saying...
Certainly not Paul's doing it.
Hey?
If somebody tells you Gunther's working Backlash, you're like, what?
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing you like about that and then it's like, what, a desperation rematch or something against Jay? There's nothing you can think of that's anywhere near as effective as all of this has been. Like, honestly, I think there's been like a few creative masterstrokes in this one, and McAfee, to be fair, has like lived up to the billing as well.
I will say I didn't like it as much as I did last week, but the mere fact that of all people, Pat McAfee has got me on side as a babyface character. It must be great.
Yeah.
It must be great on some level.
I just thought,
Oh my God.
is Gunther going to be in Money in the Bank?
Well, when he's decimated McAfee, yeah, probably. He's going to
Gunther,
want...
Karrion Kross, Sami Zayn, Braun Breaker.
This is just your head. This is just your head.
I love it up here. It's the best.
Strong upper mid-card. Like, decent upper mid-card at the moment, so they're not wild shouts. Karrion Kross is potentially wild shout as much as I would like to see him in there.
A little bit wild.
So yeah, next week on Raw we get Finn Balor versus AJ Styles, War Raiders Creed Brothers, Io Sky and Rhea Ripley versus Roxanne Perez and Julia. But it's Backlash this weekend, and to hype it up, they showed a John Cena Randy Orton thing. Their last singles match was 8 years ago, and they showed the I Quit match from 2009's Breaking Point.
Who said that it was shades of Brett and Austin in there? One of the talking heads.
Sick to my stomach, JR.
Rolled my eyes.
Here's the thing with that, and we'll probably do a Backlash preview or talk about it on Smackdown or whatever, because they're going to have the last face-to-face, I think, Cena on
Yep.
Smackdown this week. Said it before WrestleMania and think it now.
It's always a face-to-face with John Cena, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll hold
We
my
are
hands,
doing something potentially good with our truth, though.
How much did you... Yeah, that's
I know.
real good stuff, isn't it?
I'll hold my hands up on the SmackDown preview. We did predict Randy Orton, RKO and Papa Shango last week, but that
Didn't
come to
happen.
pass.
Could happen this week,
Plans
though, so-
change.
Yeah, well, that's it, yeah.
You were saying you like something that they're doing with this.
Yeah, like the idea of it before WrestleMania, that they'd set up Orton as effectively the number one contender in St. Louis, Missouri, against whoever was going to win, and both were intriguing for different reasons. What has bothered me a little bit is, like,
John Cena sucks.
No, that's fine. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with John Cena sucking. I'm broadly a supporter of this, like, God, these two again, but it's a complete dynamic switch. All right, I'll look at this once, and I'll look at it in Orton's hometown. You pick the right night and the right, ultimately, like, the first defense for John Cena, because he obviously beats Randy Orton, and it's all for the heat, and the match is going to stink. Whatever. Like, look, they stunk when they were in the primes.
Yeah.
And that's my problem with it, right? Is that in order to get around the fact that John Cena's not been on television, stop reminding me I hated this.
Yeah.
Because I am broadly positive that you've got heel John Cena and Baby Randy Orton. Like, one time in this building, I want to look at this, and you are reminded me why I never wanted to look at it ever again.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Well, speaking of which,
It's time to play the game! Time to play the game! Ha ha ha!
what else happened at 2009's Breaking Point? Halcyon days of WWE.
Nightmare.
Undertaker versus CM Punk.
Yeah.
Hang on, wait a second. There's a button here for this. It was the Bell End Centre in Montreal, Canada.
They did a screw job finish. Yeah.
Did they?
Scott Armstrong.
Whoa.
DX versus Ted DiBiase Jr. and Cody Rhodes.
AKA
Legacy.
Count Anywhere.
Big night for Legacy.
Double submission on Shawn, I think it was. If I'm not mistaken, for the finish, because they weren't going to be tapping out the old games.
No one can do that. Everyone knows that.
So you've got main and co-main there. You have
Obviously, Cena and Orton.
yeah.
Was it
so
the-
you've got 4 more matches to get.
7-match card.
The 4-way with Batista and Ray and the guy, you were supposed to be my friend. Was that around that
No,
time?
that wasn't on this show.
More submission stuff.
There was a no. There was no more submissions matches. There was a Singapore Cane match.
Big Show.
Nope.
It would have been ECW adjacent. Because
Mark Henry,
It was
yeah.
the end, wasn't it?
It was honestly this.
Not Mark Henry then.
No,
Tommy Dreamer.
Both of those names you mentioned were in a match, but not in this one that you're talking about.
Were they in like a 5-way or something?
No, dear, that's wrong.
Mark Henry, Big Show. Were they in the same match then?
Ah. So where Brian cashed in.
No, it was
No.
That was a December.
Might not have been the only ones in that match. Think of 2 people that are in the abyss right now.
Okay. All right.
One doing rather better than the other.
Jericho.
Oh.
Jericho. There's Mark Henry and someone.
This one's doing a lot better than Chris Jericho's doing.
He's
He's arguably doing the best thing in AEW right now.
Bobby Lashley.
Not quite.
Shelton Benjamin.
Not quite.
MVP.
A classic US title match.
Dolph Ziggler.
Nope.
Kofi Kingston. Dolph Ziggler.
No, hang on, sorry.
No, dear, that's
That's just
wrong.
force of habit, sorry.
So Kofi.
US title 2009 September. September?
Surprised this isn't on his Wikipedia page.
The Miz.
Oh, The Miz.
Jesus Christ.
See, I haven't got this classic Singapore Kane match. The clue might be in what type of match it's in.
The Singapore Kane match.
Oh.
Kane.
5 minutes 50 seconds and would have felt a whole lot longer.
Chavo.
No.
Carly.
Chavo was fighting Evan Bourne in a dark match. But you have one last match to get. Title match.
Divas.
Nope. It was the ECW title match.
I've just seen who it is.
Yeah.
Christian.
Matt Hardy.
No, dear, that's
Ezekiel
wrong.
Jackson.
No, dear,
He
that's
was
wrong.
banned from ringside.
Goldust.
No, dear,
Swagger.
that's wrong. No, dear, that's wrong.
So he's trying to get over at the time. Christian.
Yeah.
William Regal.
Hey.
I have to confess, I saw the rematch that they had in Sheffield. It was unbelievable. Yeah. It was really good.
So he's got 1 out of the 5 then. With Regal.
Yeah, yeah.
Breaking Point would be a one-off event for WWE as the September slot was replaced with Night of Champions
I
in
was
2010.
so into TNA late 2009. Like,
Surprise, baby. That's a surprise, baby.
so into it.
Oh, was that Desmond Wolf time?
Wolski and Kurt, beer money, me thinking the Pope was going to be like the next big thing in the whole industry. And here comes Hulk Hogan.
Think of his new 3-man group.
Looks trash, isn't it? What is
It was
it?
so funny when they're like, you don't know why, it's going to be better than ever. We thought podcast.
I thought podcast,
I want
yeah.
Hogan on a pod, man. Weekly Hogan.
Yeah.
Unhinged Hogan.
Hogan lies. We could have a thread that keeps
I
going.
thought the third man was going to be Conrad. He was going to be stood in the middle of them and it was going to do a new NWO podcast.
Aye.
Something. Really mind the stuff that nobody's talking about.
No, I'll shut up.
Main event time for the World Heavyweight title is...
I'll tell you after the
Okay. Jey Uso versus Seth Rollins with, of course, Paul Heyman and Braun Breaker. Early on, Seth tried for a stomp and a pedigree. Jey tried for a super kick. Rollins went to the outside. Jey hit a suicide dive early on. Rollins, I think this is where it happened, fell over the announce table and got busted open.
Terrible bump in terms of the logic and cause and effect, but
Yeah.
enhance the drama of the match.
Do you know what I talked about, Sidge? Didn't we say they should save the first table breaks for the right night? And they did them at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
You save
Those tables.
Those big ass
you
tables.
probably love those neon little tables.
Oh,
at
I loved them,
WrestleMania.
man.
Yeah.
I was a gazillion miles away and I could see those lights.
I was at the Lake District having a good time, and I saw those tables. I was like, oh, that son of a bitch. You son of a bitch. Yeah, you're going to be there and loving it.
That was great.
When we come back from the break, they both go for a crossbody. Jey hits back with some...
Seth Rollins' face was like, he just looked like he was dead behind the eyes when he was doing that crossbody. Like, no attempt to, like, attack Jey Uso. Like, we're doing the crossbody spot, so...
You feel like we all go into autopilot, like in our everyday. You just do the things you don't think about doing, like, and he's going to work, so it's allowed. In some respects, you don't want wrestlers to be on autopilot when they're wrestling because that's their job. Like that for us, like you get on the metro in the morning, you probably go to the same spot, and ideally, I want to get
Same
on the train.
spot all
same
the time.
spot. I know where I just like to be on the train, and everyone's kind of the same. All commuters, nobody speaks to each other. We've all kind of silently agreed that, and you go to the spot where a door is or where you're happy on the platform. That's like Seth Rollins doing a suicide dive.
Yeah.
That's us going to the same bit of the platform every day. I'll get there. Got to get there because I've got to get there. If I do the dive there, it means I can get my seat over there.
Yeah.
That's just how will be the working day.
But yeah, Jey fires back, Samoan drop, running hip attack gets 2.
Middle, front, or back?
On the train,
Yeah.
the middle.
I like more of a middle than a front or a
Got
back.
2 sets of doors to pick from, and you can kind of gauge both windows and see where there's a few more seats.
Okay.
So I like my spot to be like just at the end of the covered bit, just in case of rain.
I will say,
yeah.
Newcastle Central Station, I'll go at the end of the platform because there's just like some of the part-timers, so they don't know that they go at the end of the spot. Someone just goes to the middle and think, oh, this is perfectly the great spot to get on the...
When I go down the gates, I go down the steps and go to the end of the platform, but then the other end so I can get some more steps in and convince myself that I'm not a fat bastard.
Nice.
Yeah.
And ones are free.
That's true.
Them steps are free.
What else am I going to do? Just stand there? No, walk.
Loads of standing still. I just got myself 30 free steps.
Big talk.
Where are you going to get those from now?
You're going to walk on the spot or something.
Where are we? Rollins
Never know.
hit a suicide dive, but Jay hit him with a mid-air super kick for a near fall. This is awesome from the crowd. Rollins hits a buckle bomb.
Awesome.
Missed the frog splash.
This is fine.
This is solid.
Jay went for a spear, but Rollins does that awesome counter where he pedigrees him for 2. Jay avoided a stomp and put a sleeper on Seth Rollins, which I was unaware until it was pointed out quite a lot on commentary that's how he beat Gunther. Michael Cole hammered
Pretty
that.
much renamed the move. The move that beat Gunther! The move that beat Gunther!
He's special.
He's special.
Rollins gets out of it though, but Jay hit him with a spear for a nice 2 count. They fight on the top rope. Jay knocks Seth down, and Rollins, oh bloody hell, stumbles into the referee.
New trainers.
Newish.
They're nice.
Thank you. Braun.
Navy canvas Adidas.
You have to show the people now. You can't just do that. Leave them in suspense here. There you go.
Is that anything? Shoe.
You can still find them.
Sergio Giorgini.
Breaker tries to interfere. The ref distracted. Jay kicks him down, but all this allows Rollins to recuperate and grab him, superplex into a Falcon Arrow and a curb stomp. But Cole notes that he didn't get all of it, and therefore Jay just gets the shoulder up for a great 2 count. Rollins starts calling out to Bron Breakker until Sami Zayn's music hits, and Bron's like, great, I get to kill him again. Goes to walk up the aisle because he assumes that's where Sami's coming from, but Sami attacks from the crowd and sends him into the ring post. Jay super kicks Rollins amongst all this. Spear, Uso splash. Everyone thinks that's it, but Seth Rollins, he kicks out at the last second, and Zayn's like... I'm so conflicted with this because we all love Sami Zayn, but I also really enjoy him dying, especially when he's unaware. Yeah, come on everybody, let's get the chance going for Jay. God, I'm dead. Bring out your f***ing shoes. Get down, Sammy.
He leaves himself like a bit of an ice show speed angle as well. As a worker, you think, oh, that's not going to kill him, but to make it look meaner.
Yeah,
good stuff.
It's really good. Bron spears him. Jay foolishly goes out to check on him, and Heyman takes the referee. We don't see it. They completely missed it. But as you can hear from the noise, Bron runs through Jey Uso as well, chucks him back in. Rollins got the match won. Curb stomp. He's just about to go and cover him when CM Punk's music hits. He's back. The crowd, huge pop.
Oh my God.
Punk comes out. I did like the fact he comes out with a chair. And Bron's like, what you can do, what you can do. And he just throws the chair to him and kicks it through his face. Attacks Seth Rollins with a chair. Batters him with it. Bron tries to come back and save him. Batters him with it. Seth tries to get up. Chased off with him. And the show ends with Punk standing tall. Zayn checking on Jey Uso. Actually, the show ends. And then Jey Uso post-match is high-fiving everybody, greeting all the fans. And he gets KO'd by Logan Paul, as you may have seen on social media. But what a main event this was.
Yeah, what a main event. This is why you cannot be so lazy with your WDs, because there would be no problem in this if WWE, as of late, hadn't just been throwing out DQs for any old nonsense in the mid-card. Like, you can absolutely get away with it once in a while when the crowd are going nuts, when it's a cool movement of the story onto the next thing. And I know we said at the top of the podcast, you can have your opinions on like sort of Seth and Punk again, but this is a new version of that story, and they're 1-1 in the matches so far. So if nothing else, there was always going to be a third match, and this version of it is way more interesting than, say, like the pre-WrestleMania one.
I don't know who wins this version.
Yeah, and you've got tag matches and trios matches.
Tags,
Could Logan
trios,
Paul
there's-
team with. Yeah. Anyway.
They're doing a nice job of setting up a bunch of heels and baby faces, and thankfully it's not November, so it's not the time where it's only in existence for one match. It's just a bunch of different matches. This match, and this sort of reminds me of the halcyon days of the summer of 2023, is why I have to remain a situational Seth guy, because the second half of this match is what I continue to like about him and his relationship with the WWE audience as a guy that they can buy as a top guy. Everyone in the building was buying a title change, and if I'm honest, I wasn't. Like, I just didn't think this was going to be the night for it. I thought when they do these advertised Raw main events, your brain is going disqualification, something. Jey Uso gets the win. Like, probably not Jey Uso gets the win because they've just established this new stable, but this isn't getting a finish. But the audience didn't, and they were biting on Seth
When he
winning.
kicked out the splash, I thought, they're switching the belt.
And it was so, as a result, it made it more energized for Jey somehow getting it done, despite the numbers disadvantage, or then Sammy coming out and being the guy. Punk not being advertised for this was a really nice touch, because it did. That pop was louder as a result of feeling like the audience already felt like they were in this bonus zone where they're getting this world title match. And now they get that on top of it. You feel like you've super served the fans. So that was quite nice. And the little details of how they constructed it, I thought was good as well. Braun, you mentioned about Braun looking to the aisle to try and stop Sammy, and then Sammy decking him. He didn't, as a result, look to the aisle to CM Punk, because he was thinking, where's Punk going to come from? And by the time he's meeting him halfway, as you pointed out, Punk's like, I've got a chair. You can run at me all you want, but it's too late now. You're not quite as ready for me. And I thought that little detail went somewhere. And I imagine maybe CM Punk's very good at that, so maybe he thought of that. It's like, I'm going to hit this guy with a chair, but he cannot just be a goon idiot. He's Braun Breaker. All of this is for him. We cannot just have him go, I get him, boss, and then I throw a chair at him. There's got to be a little bit more detail. And I thought that was how they arrived at that detail, because Braun was a little bit like on the fly.
Yeah.
And he's ran, he's got a chair, bang in the face, and off he goes. I love it, but you know the Quake by the Lake thing where Punk returns, and like the Jericho Appreciation Society, just moving like his bodies to bounce around, Punk pinballs and one after another. It's great stuff.
Yeah.
But like, you can't do that to Braun Breaker, otherwise what's this project for? So I loved how all that played out, and I did think they did an excellent job of playing with the sudden change in audience expectations that they might see a title shot. Really wish. It's nothing to do with this match or the booking or any of this. It's WWE's fault for just throwing away too many DQs and countouts lately, because the company that was so much better with its finishes in sort of 2022, 2023, I wouldn't have a single complaint with this one. They've just been too liberal with it of late.
This must have been really, really strong and probably dramatic, because I was prepared to be like, part of me thinks, Jey Uso, the magic, if you can even use that word, is he's kind of hopeless. I wouldn't ever expect him to hold the title until WrestleMania. Ergo, every single defense, I'm thinking there's an argument to get it off him. But the rational part of my brain knew disqualification. They're not going to beat either of these, so why am I watching it? And then there were certain near falls where I thought, oh Christ, well, they're beating Seth already, or they're changing the title. It was, as a match, content-wise, like every single Seth Rollins and every single main event, WWE main event style match you've ever seen, where they are so much worse with their finishes than any other promotion right now, you know? But it was done so well that you couldn't deny it. You could not deny it. It was really, really dramatic, this.
Well, let us know your thoughts on the main event.
And sorry, I can understand why they go with Seth. I would never in a million years, but he's a safe pair of hands, isn't he? Seth Rollins. Yeah. He can get a bit of drama out of these. He knows how to play these WWE fans. Now, I wouldn't put that in his best wrestler of all time case. Yeah, wouldn't put that very high because it's easy to work them. Right. Do you finish it? And have them kick out. But he's better at timing it than most.
Yeah.
These really, really simplistic matches that at a certain point, they've broken so much about what works in pro wrestling, WWE. God, I hate them so much. How has this not stopped working yet?
And he didn't get all of it.
Yeah.
Like the commentary said it, and all of none of that's by accident, is it? It's like, if it had got him full pelt, they've really put over
kick outs as well. Like, they kick out of everything in that promotion.
Yeah.
All of the goddamn time, and yet it keeps working. It's in New Japan, they got those reactions. You see it in AEW, I would argue to a lesser extent, the Fed this year have killed finishes between Seth and Punk. Like, Jesus Christ, it's unbelievable. But it works. If it works every time, keep doing it. People have been talking about finishes being dead for decades.
Yeah.
Ain't happened yet, has it?
No. It's a good point. Let us know your thoughts on everything we discussed, though, in the comment section below or on X at WhatCultureWWE. Watch there, you can follow all four of us. You can follow Michael Hamflett at
Michael Hamflett.
Follow Michael Sidgwick at
Sidgwick.
Follow our brilliant producer, Adam Nicholas at
Follow him as well.
Yeah, you can do that too. It's Adam Nicholas.
And you can follow me at Adam Wilbourn. Follow us all at WhatCultureWWE. And make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcasts from, for daily wrestling podcasts. We'll be back later on today to preview NXT. But for now,
What the hell's going on over there?
there's been the Raw review. My thanks to Hamflett, Sidgwick. Thank you for joining us. It's good to be back. And we'll see you soon.